Welcome to Grapevine with your host, Wanda Williams. I have the most awesome guest today. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. I have Eban Brown from the Stylistics and a few other groups that we all know about. Welcome, Eban. How you doing?
How you doing? Thank you for having me today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh my God. You know what? I saw you sing a couple weeks ago when you were here in Milwaukee, and you were so awesome. Let's talk a little bit about your career. And you have not only been with the Stylistics, you've been with a few other groups. So tell us about that.
Well, when I first started in the business, straight out of the church in gospel singing, Ray Goodman and Brown was the first. That was my idol group, actually. They were the first group to introduce me to the public as a professional singer. You know, I was supposed to be their guitar player, but ultimately I ended up singing. You know, and strange circumstances lead to another. So that couldn't have been better. You know.
Well, how did you know you had that high, sexy voice? How did you know that? Because the women love it.
Well, it started like I said. You know. Started from church and the gospel singing. You know, I was around 7, 8 years old. I was playing guitar good enough to play with grown men to sing. So my father, he was a singer and musician. So he was a stickler about harmony, like, you know, being able to sing notes in a harmony with other people. So, you know, I've had a $10 million education with that because I've been around it all my life. So I know what note you're supposed to be on, and I know what note he's supposed to be on. So, you know, it's one of them kind of things where it's been instilled in me from birth, you know what I'm saying? So if I hear something, what note you singing? I've been blessed with that gift, you know what I mean? And from a little boy, you know, I've been honing my craft here at home and in church. So, you know, hey, that's where I got that $10 million education at, you know? Yeah.
All right.
Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Ooh. Bet you by golly wow.
You know what? Strangely enough, I got to tell you, I might have said this in a few outlets being interviewed, but maybe it went over people's heads. But believe it or not, Bet You By Golly Wow is, to me, that's the worst song the Stylistics ever done.
What?
Exactly. Yeah,
Bet You By Golly Wow?
Yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites.
You're not the first artist who have told me that they had a big hit, and the artist says, I did not like that song.
Russell Tompkins Jr., the singer that I replaced with Stylistics. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but Connie Francis was the first to cut that song, 1970, I believe.
That's true.
But her version was called Keep Growing Strong. It was a hit as well for her. And when they cut it, it was Bet You By Golly Wow. You know, Linda Creed, God rest her soul, she was the songwriter on that song. Wow. Matter of fact, Linda Creed wrote some of the biggest songs, Stylistics, Delphonics, the Spinners. She wrote on a lot of that, Dionne Warwick, Johnny Mathis. So, but what I want to say is that, you know, she's written one of the biggest song in the world when she penned, I believe it was 1974. George Benson did it first. The Greatest Love of All.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah. I feel like I Believe I Can Fly.
Uh-huh.
That was like kind of like up there because those kind of songs, those type of songs, you can sing those songs in church because they're songs of encouragement. They're inspirational. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, those kind of songs are not very easy to compose because you have to really delve into in your heart about being inspirational to other people. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, you see what I'm saying? Those kind of words. I mean, that was epic, you know. Personally, you know, I'm a first tenor, which means, you know, I use, you know, both components of my voice. I use my falsetto register along with my natural register. Basically, first and foremost, rest. you have to rest, because it's like an injury when a football player injures their heel or something like that. Only way they can come back is what? They have to rest. So there are days where I'm on vocal rest. I don't sing at all. I don't even hum, because the voice, it goes through a strain. But over the years, I've learned technique. Like if I had to go out and work and I wasn't up to par, I've learned technique. You know what I mean? And then when you got hit records, it's almost like you don't even have to sing. If the people in the audience are singing along with you, so
I noticed that, but you know what? I never liked that, because I didn't come to hear my neighbor sing "Bet You My Life," and that's what made me mad. Look, I didn't pay no $100 to hear you sing "Bet You My Golly Why," so you need to be quiet. I want to hear him sing "Bet You My Golly Why."
Honey, listen, it's good for me. It's good. Nice. When I'm having trouble, but I've learned to. I've been blessed. I'm getting on stage because it's a human element when the voice goes through changes, and things like that. So, but there's a human element that you can catch a cold, you can get an allergy attack, whatever, it can affect the throat. Plenty fluids, plenty water. I mean, me myself, I smoke cigarettes, but I don't advise that. But
right,
no caffeine. You gotta get a low-fat diet, because see, when you talk about your voice, you have to eat properly as well.
Really?
Yes, you do. I have to eat a low-fat diet. I have to eat a low-fat diet now because I'm older and I have the GERD thing going on. So if I don't eat a certain type of way, it'll send the acid up through your esophagus, and that takes a while to shake off. So I say eat properly. Don't. No alcohol at all. None.
No alcohol? I don't drink, but no alcohol?
If you're not working, you got like 2 or 3 weeks off, okay, you can get a glass of wine, or you can have beer with your dinner and stuff like that. But no constant alcohol use, like Hennessy and all that kind of stuff. Leave that stuff alone.
Really? That's going to be hard to tell young folks that now, because you can't be telling young. Look, before you go on stage, don't take no drink, don't smoke no cigarette, don't eat some low-fat food.
One thing about me personally, I had great parents, and coming up in the era where I came up in, we learned to keep our feet squared on the ground, because at the end of the day, we're all people. And we always keep in mind that, hey, without people like yourself, especially journalists like yourself, you gotta be very kind to people in general anyway. But you can't be afraid to be nice, because it doesn't cost anything. You know what I'm saying? And I love people. I love entertaining people. I love making people smile. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm very approachable. Gerald is we've always been like that. It's just some of the new school people, they get this thing with them, like, listen, I pay the same bills that you pay. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we all do the same thing to keep the lights on, right? So,
right.
It's not in me to be vulgar or in any way standoffish or snobbish. No, I can't do that.
Tell me about England.
England, I got about 6 weeks tour over there. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm doing, and actually, funny enough, I'll be over there touring at the very, very same time as the Stylistics will be touring. So
really,
I might go see the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Remember that scene in The Temptation? David Ruffin wasn't with the group no more, and he on the stage and started singing the song. Are you gonna do that?
Nah.
Grab the mic. Hey, I know this. Are you gonna do something like that? Come on, just.
No, you know what? That's gonna be a night. Throughout my own dates, that's gonna be a night that I'm gonna be resting and relaxing, because I'll have a lot more ahead of me by the time I see them. I'll be over there actually a whole month before they come over. So
really,
I would have been done like several shows before they come over, and that's just a night. See, I go see other people when I'm not working.
Okay.
For a change, to have someone else entertain me for.
You got that right.
Yeah.
So how do they treat you in England? How do they make you feel in England when you come over?
You were, let's say, if you're kind of sort of old news here in the United States, in England, it's not like that at all. If you was the man or the woman back in the day, they still treat you like you're a new artist and fresh. They love it. They call it soul music at the end of the day. They big on Motown. Even with Stylistics come from Philadelphia, they still put it all together, Motown, because we're soul singers, you know what I mean? So, but they absolutely embrace us like you wouldn't believe.
Wow, I've heard good things about artists that may not be as popular here, but were at one time. They go over to England and they go over there and live and don't never come back. You mean to tell me, if I was getting married, which I'm not, and I wanted you to come sing to me before I say the vows, and I want you to sing "Bet You by God the Why," you would do it for me.
I'll be right there singing.
The streaming controversy that you're going through. Tell us a little bit about the streaming and school some people on about that. So let's talk about that. Go ahead, Eban.
Yes. Okay. Alongside myself, along with other artists in general, especially the independent artists, I just want to say that I made a decision over a couple of days ago after some objectivity with other minds of the business, and I decided to pull everything down. It's a big and bold move, but I decided to pull all the music down from their services because of the revenue payout that they do, opposed to if you control it on your own. I mean, they've been killing me. And people like myself, they kill us because they house the music and it's on their service. They figure they deserve a bigger chunk than you, something that you own. You know what I mean? So I decided it's a big and bold move. It's been a long time coming, but at first, if you're just starting out, okay, now I understand that you want to get a little help from them as far as marketing and putting it in different, but if you build a website, okay, just like the streaming services or social media, your website, once it's launched, is on the World Wide Web just as well as they are. What they do, they take extra measures. They post, they push it this direction, that direction. I gotta do the same thing. Plus, with the 4 groups that I've been in over the last 20 years, I think I've grown enough fan base to do it on my own now as far as pushing my own music, you know what I'm saying? I already had some of my music on my website, but I brought the rest of it over, so I didn't have too much of a task, but I brought the rest of it over, and I'm glad it's done, and it's going to take, it's not a process that happened overnight, because my music was available on every digital streaming company out there, everyone. Mm-hmm. My music was everywhere, so I'm pulling it back so that way I can prosper from it, because by right, you spend time in the studio, you lose a lot of sleep, as I was saying, and you put this stuff out for someone else to make bigger than you. That don't make sense to me, and I just want to say to the independent artists, okay, if you got your own music or not, but if you're thinking of getting a major recording contract, if that's what you want, okay, that's something different. That's between you and your attorney once they sit down and explain to you the terms in that contract. But, record companies, they own your master. They own the perpetuity, which means that you're signing over all of your rights for life, okay? And that's something that I'm not really, inclined to doing. But my thing, what I want to get out to the independent artists, if you're looking for a recording contract, a major, think again. You can look. This is what you do. You can come up with your own name, record label, or your whatever you want to do. Just get an LLC. And what you do, you as an artist, you build a website. You stream you put all your music onto your website, and you sell it like that. Now, my thing is this. Some artists, I can give you a few names, but we don't want to call any names. But there are artists out there that get stuck in these contracts because, like, let's say, for instance, if I'm with Capital Records, right? They put an album out. Okay, if the album doesn't sell the way they see that it should sell, what happens is, okay, when the royalties come back, they take money that they spent on you beforehand. That means for the recordings, the marketing, the radio, which is a radio and all that. If they take you out to dinner, okay, they recoup from that as well. All that's included. If they give you a tour bus, they take all that back. So you got the biggest song in the world. You're not seeing no revenue from it. Okay.
I've heard that on many occasions from artists. So was that what Prince was fighting for? Unfortunately, God rest his soul.
And then when you got record companies controlling everything, one of the things that you don't know, they won't give you a clear-cut show of proof of how many records were sold. That's a secret to the artists. They don't, even if they ask, they'll try their best not to give it to you. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know.
Why?
Prince was asked by Tavis Smiley, and he started laughing. He said, Prince, let me ask you a question. The viewers want to know how much money has Purple Rain. So Prince started laughing. You know, personally, I think Purple Rain might have did as well as Thriller. Thriller is what the biggest album of all time.
Yes.
You know, Purple Rain they had the album, they had the movie. Okay, so you can just imagine how much they made off of that, Warner Brothers. You know, but my thing is this. You know, what kills. One of the biggest hurtful thing is when you owe the record company money. Let's say if your album don't sell. Now, usually when you sign a recording contract, usually with a major, you have to do like it's in the contract. They want you to do like at least some people 5 to 6 albums, and you have to complete that task before you can get away from that label. Okay.
Wow.
So if that first album don't make a whole lot for you, what they do, they still recouping. And check it out. Once you record the second album, that album makes any money, they're gonna pull money from that for the last project that you did.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? That's what you call the artist now at that point, they go into a cross collateralization, as they call it. That means that you're in the red with these labels until it can take some people take 5 or 6 years or more. Some people be in a contract for 20 years before they can actually get out. And that's why people get depressed. They start cutting their wrists and stuff because it's what you signed. You're really hard pressed because of all the hard work that you put into the record. You're really not seeing those dollars unless you concert. And it's not a guarantee that you'll get a whole lot of concert. It's not a guarantee. So you got to get this money up. You gotta make money for yourself, and then they gotta get their money back from the royalties. They're pushing it on their end, and they're taking all your money. Look, my father, God rest his soul, he loved him some Gerald Austin. He didn't think there was a better singer. That's because my father, see, he was a Sam Cooke fanatic. I own everything Sam Cooke ever did. If you tell me to start singing the Sam Cooke song, even if I didn't like it, I know it because I heard it always around the house. And Gerald puts him in the mind of Sam Cooke, basically. Gerald sung for my father's funeral. I've contacted Gerald when my father was on his last days to go see my father in the hospital. Gerald took out his busy schedule to go see my dad, and that meant the world to my father. If you had to see my father's face, man, it was like, oh my God, you know.
You have a new CD. I gotta get this out here. New CD. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's a nice picture of you. You are going to put some of your music on vinyl. Now, I saw that question pop up when you were on earlier today. Do you plan on putting some of your music on vinyl?
I would actually love to. As soon as I can and I'm able, I would definitely do that because vinyl is like, it made a big comeback. And I know for a fact that in Japan, vinyl is still big. If I put my music on vinyl right now, Japan is coming calling. We need 300 copies of this and that. Yeah.
Why are they going back to vinyl? I don't get that because it's scratched. If you put a CD can scratch too. But why are they going back to vinyl?
Vinyl, a lot of people now, they're starting to revert back to turntables and things like that. Hell, I even got one. You know, I bought me a new one.
Everybody sold their turntables and took them to the Goodwill. Now look, do I have to go to the Goodwill and find me a turntable?
No, you don't. I mean, if they got one that's handy, make sure it works good.
That's true.
Vinyl has a unique sound to it. It has a very warm, unique sound, like the old days. You know? And with the cover and the vinyl inside of it, it's for safekeeping. You can always, it's something that you can live with. You don't be afraid of rehearsal. When you get into rehearsal, I've played and sung with some guys over the years. You get into rehearsal, everybody, they're going like this. They're watching that clock. When I get to a rehearsal, I don't watch no clock. Because whatever I'm doing, I got to get it straight before I leave that rehearsal because we're probably doing the show very shortly in a few days, and I want my thing to be together. I'm very big on embarrassment. I hate embarrassment. When I get on stage, I want to sing to the people. Well, I want to be well rehearsed. There's a spark of magic in your eyes. Candyland appears each time you smile. Never thought that fairy tales came true, but they come true when I'm near you. You're a genie in disguise, full of wonder and surprise. And that's the by golly, wow. You're the one that I've been waiting for forever. And ever will my love for you keep growing strong. Keep growing strong.
I'm a fan. I'm gonna wait till after the show to faint.
That's my sleepy voice, so you know.
I want to say thank you again, Eban Brown. Milwaukee loves you. The world loves you. And I'll see you next time on Grapevine. Okay. Much love.
And I'll keep you posted when I'm back in Milwaukee. Thank you.